We're going for the full Monty.
I see.
Hey everybody, welcome to Sous Vide every once in a while. Today, I'm going to make something you never thought was possible. Cooking pizza sous vide. What did he say? Pizza? I've never seen anybody make pizza sous vide. I thought, there's an opportunity. Check it out.
Everyone loves pizza, but it's something that's hard to perfect at home. And trust me, I've tried. I've made them all. I've made oven-baked pizzas, French bread pizzas, goat cheese and homemade sausage pizzas, charcoal grilled pizzas. If you've never made one of these, trust me, I highly recommend it. You can really get the pizza oven effect like this. I've even made rectangle pizzas. Rectangle pizzas? Thin crust pizzas topped with shrimp and Alfredo sauce. Those pizza rolls you used to get at the drive-in movies. And I've even made the frozen pizza that comes from the grocery store. I have to admit it. But what I really want to show you is how to make a delicious crispy crust pizza sous vide. And it all starts with our dough. The first ingredient is 1 1/8 cups of water. We have 2 cup W of bread flour. Cup W? That must be a typo. A teaspoon of yeast. And then the secret ingredient, malt powder. This stuff will take your dough making to the next level. I've got a teaspoon here. Remember, the ingredients are simple. Yeast, flour, and water. Simple ingredients done right makes a great dough. You might think it's cheating, but I'm using a bread machine to make this dough. Breadman. It's a good brand, and it has all kinds of features, but I'm only concerned with the dough cycle. And you can see here, it's got a lot of miles on it. But let's find out if it's up to the task. We'll let the dough mix for about 5 minutes till it comes together into a nice wet sponge. Our timer is up. We're going to let this dough rest for about 18 hours until it's ready to go. Now it's time to make our sauce. And this sauce is simple. The main ingredient is tomato paste. We're using the Muddy Triplo Concentro. This is the really good stuff, and it's a 6.5 ounce. The next ingredient is white wine. Here we have a Sauvignon Blanc. The guy in the liquor store said it was good for cooking. People like Lydia Bastianich will say only cook with a wine that you would drink. If you look more closely, this wine has a screw cap thread. It's cheap. It's probably not something you would drink. But I don't drink wine. I drink single malt scotch. If I use scotch to make pizza sauce, that's just going to taste weird, so I don't think I'm going to use this. It may be cheap, but it's the only thing we have, so we got to make it work. We also have water. I'm not sure how much we need, but I have about a cup here. We're also going to add a little salt to taste. Now you can use any tomato paste you find. This is the double concentrated version of the Muddy brand, and it's another good choice. I recommend it. I'm not going to use it here, but sometimes I use anchovy in the sauce for extra flavor. Now let's make the sauce. This sauce can be made in advance and will be fine for many days. And as you can see, it's very simple. Just blend the ingredients together with a little heat and our sauce is done. Our dough sponge has been working for about 18 hours, and as you can see, it's been busy. But we're not done yet. To finish the dough, we'll add only 1/8 of a cup of water, another cup of bread flour, a teaspoon of salt, and 2 whole tablespoons of vital wheat gluten. Let the machine proceed through the dough cycle for 1.5 hours. When it's done, leave it in the machine to gently rise for another hour. And when that time is up, we're ready to start shaping the dough for our pizza. At this point, I realize I'm going to need to lift this dough later, so I'll finish working it on a piece of parchment paper. This dough is a little stubborn. Even with a rolling pin, it doesn't really want to stretch out too much. So let's cover it up with a cloth and let it relax. And in the meantime, we can get our toppings ready. These thin pepperonis are fine. I really do like them, but we can do better. I got these thick cut pepperonis from Texas's favorite grocery store. They can't go on the pizza as is. I need to do something with them. I'm going to cut these up into smaller cubes. This will give us more surface area so the fat can render out nicely. It also gives us more control over the distribution of our meat topping so we can get more pepperoni in every bite. And next up, a beautiful cucumber. I'm going to take this cucumber and slice it up nicely to make a tasty vegetable companion to our pepperoni.
Yeah, not a tomato.
And cucumbers.
Wait a second. What is it that?
It's cucumbers.
No. You cannot put a cucumbers on a pizza.
Well, why not? I like cucumbers.
That's not a pizza. It'll taste terrible. On this issue, there cannot be no debate.
Okay, Poppy, no cucumbers, but we do need cheese. I like to buy a few blocks of the part skim mozzarella, shred it up, and keep it in the freezer until I need it. It's always ready. Think about it, guys. I've got to get a fully topped pizza into a sous vide bag without making a mess. I think this plastic sheet will do the trick. It's also critical to trim excess parchment paper from around the dough. You don't want it to fold into the pizza and interrupt your cooking process. Now we can get started.
Now at this point, I'm a little concerned about this experiment. Pizza has a much different geometry than, say, a steak or an egg. Pizza is so much bigger than, well, it's pretty big for a typical water bath you'd cook things in sous vide. But I think I can figure out a way around that. Something that's more concerning is temperature. Okay, commercial pizza ovens, they get up to 700, 800, 900 degrees Fahrenheit. Even your ovens in your kitchen, you could probably get up to 500 degrees, 550. Pizza stones, all kinds of little tricks. Now, if we get our water bath up to 500 degrees Fahrenheit, that's going to be basically steam. It's not going to be water anymore. It's not going to be liquid. Now, this is where it gets interesting. You know how steam will burn you worse than boiling water will? It'll cause a much more serious burn. That's because when the steam condenses on your cooler skin, the heat of vaporization of water is like 2,200, 2,300 joules per gram. So all of that energy gets transferred into a cooler surface when it touches it, right? Now, we will not be getting burned by the steam. Instead, we'll be putting all of that heat energy into the dough to make our delicious pizza crust. Let's do it.
Your standard vacuum seal bag is too narrow, and pulling a vacuum on a pizza, you're going to warp the shape. Using a quart-sized bag, way too small. Gallon bag, still too small. I've got just the trick. Let's use a jumbo. You see what I'm talking about with the aspect ratio? You need a water bath that's big enough to fit your whole pizza. Let's fill it up with water and crank up the heat. The bath only goes to 197. It's not as high as I want, but it's too late to back out. We're just going to have to make it work. Another thing, there's a lamp getting in the way of our shot. It doesn't look good. We gotta get it out of here. Guys, I did not add that sound effect. That's honest to goodness, real crunch of this crust. Look at this perfection. The only thing left to do is cut up the rest of this sous vide pizza and try it out with someone who likes pizza the absolute exact same amount as I do.
Okay, here we are. We're gonna try the sous vide pizza. I'm looking at this. I already think that it's gonna be delicious. What do you think, Monty? Oh, I do too, man. This looks really good. What do you notice? What's the first thing you notice? It's light. It's light. So many times you have a pizza dough or pizza crust, and it's thick and dense, and it's not very light. I don't normally eat an entire pizza, but I think when it's this light and airy, cooked in the sous vide way, this is, I could eat a whole pizza of this. It's not a very big pizza, but if I made a big one, I have bigger bags for my sous vide. Maybe I'd eat the whole pizza. Okay, well, cheers. Cheers. Right? It's good. So good. It's like crunchy on the bottom, a little bit. And that sauce, it's perfect. I like different sauces, but there's something about this one. Something, the sauce. It's a little tangy, right, buddy? That wine, get the wine in there. It gives it like the right tang. the acidity. I know it's not like acid, and I know tomatoes have acid in them, but combined with the wine, it's like goes really well. What to do with the pepperoni was to put a little twist on it, you know? Keep the experiment simple, but it's just sauce, cheese, and pepperoni. It doesn't get much more simple than that. But I did put the little twist on there by dicing up the pepperonis, and I think it's good. You get some surface area, and you don't get those pepperonis when you bite the pizza and you pull the whole pepperoni off. That's why I like it this way. I like the whole thin pepperonis. I mean, these are good. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. Now, I wasn't a believer, but me neither. This, I think that's delicious. We could eat the whole pizza here. I'm a believer. I'm a believer. You didn't think it could be done? But it could. Pizza sous vide style. If you like the video, click like or leave a comment. Let us know. If you try and make this recipe at home, also, remember, share the video. And if you like the rest of our videos, subscribe to the channel, The Full Monty Python. All right, let's eat the rest of this pizza.
Like and subscribe.
Fuck you, man! We ain't fucking doing this shit. Bullshit!
What is that?